Betrayal is never an accident, nor is it a mystery reserved for poets and the wounded. It is a consequence of power misjudged, interests misaligned, and human nature misunderstood. If you seek the reason behind betrayal, you must abandon the comforting belief that loyalty is a moral constant. Loyalty is conditional. It lives only so long as it is fed by advantage, fear, necessity, or hope. The man who believes otherwise prepares his own downfall. Men are not bound to you by gratitude, promises, or shared history as firmly as you imagine. They are bound by their own preservation. This is the first truth that must be spoken plainly. Humans are ungrateful, fickle, liars and deceivers, avoiding danger and greedy for gain. While you serve their interests, they are yours entirely. They offer blood, property, life, and children. But when the need draws near, when sacrifice is required, they turn away. Betrayal begins not at the moment of treachery, but at the moment you mistake affection for obligation. Many are betrayed because they confuse kindness with control. They believe generosity purchases loyalty forever. It does not. Benefits bind men only while those benefits continue, and while no greater benefit is offered elsewhere. The moment your generosity weakens, or another offers more, the bond dissolves. Gratitude is a weak chain. Fear is stronger. Necessity is strongest of all. When a man no longer needs you or no longer fears losing you, he begins to calculate your usefulness. When that calculation ends, betrayal follows naturally, not wickedly, but rationally. Others are betrayed because they elevate morality above realism. They expect men to behave as they ought to behave, not as they do behave. This is the ruin of many leaders and many friends. The world is not governed by virtue, but by appearance of virtue. Those who act only as goodness demands, without regard for circumstance, are destroyed among those who do not. A person who keeps faith at all times, even when it harms them, will be surrounded by those who break faith whenever it benefits them. Betrayal, in this sense, is not an exception but a correction imposed by reality upon idealism. There is also betrayal born of weakness. A leader who cannot defend himself invites treachery. Power that cannot punish disobedience encourages it. Men are less careful about offending one who cannot retaliate. When protection fades, so does loyalty. Those who once stood near you will be the first to distance themselves, not because they hate you, but because association has become dangerous. In such moments, betrayal is an act of self-preservation. You may call it cowardice, but history calls it survival. Another source of betrayal is uncertainty. When your intentions are unclear, your strength inconsistent, or your direction unstable, men begin to hedge their loyalty. They prepare alternatives. They form quiet alliances. They test boundaries. Betrayal often appears sudden only because it has been rehearsed in silence. The wise understand that men rarely betray impulsively. They betray after observation, after weighing risks, after sensing weakness or opportunity. Silence, therefore, is not neutrality. It is incubation. Ambition is a faithful servant and a treacherous master. Those closest to you often desire what you possess. Proximity breeds aspiration. When advancement is blocked, ambition rots into resentment. A subordinate who sees no path upward begins to imagine your removal as the only path forward. This is why wise rulers either elevate capable men sufficiently to satisfy them, or keep them powerless enough to prevent harm. To leave an ambitious man both capable and frustrated is to sharpen the knife he will later place in your back. Trust, though praised by moralists, must be distributed like a scarce resource. To trust everyone is foolish. To trust no one is paralyzing. Betrayal thrives where trust is given without verification. Men reveal their nature not through words, but through patterns. He who flatters excessively seeks advantage. He who agrees too readily lacks conviction. He who demands secrecy too eagerly prepares escape. The betrayed often ignore these signs because acknowledgement would require action, and action would disturb comfort. Thus, betrayal is enabled by willful blindness. It must also be said that betrayal is often provoked. Those who humiliate others, who strip them of dignity while keeping them dependent, create enemies disguised as allies. Injury is remembered longer than benefit. Men will forgive the loss of profit sooner than the loss of honor. A ruler or leader who must offend should do so decisively and at once, so that resentment cannot grow gradually. Lingering harm, repeated insult, and slow exclusion cultivate revenge. Betrayal in such cases is not spontaneous. It is cultivated by cruelty poorly administered. There is betrayal born of change. When circumstances shift, alliances shift with them. A man loyal to you in one season may betray you in another, not because his character changed, but because the environment did. Those who fail to adapt are abandoned. Those who adapt too slowly are replaced. Stability is admired, but rigidity is punished. The betrayed often cling to old agreements while the world has already renegotiated them without consent. Fear, paradoxically, both prevents and causes betrayal. Properly applied, fear enforces loyalty. Improperly applied, it drives conspiracies underground. A man who fears punishment but sees no path to safety will betray preemptively. He will strike before being struck. Thus, cruelty without justice is dangerous. Punishment must be predictable, not arbitrary. When men believe they can survive obedience, they obey. When they believe obedience leads eventually to destruction, they rebel in secret. Betrayal also emerges from overexposure. The more you reveal your plans, doubts, and weaknesses, the more material you provide to future adversaries. Intimacy without discretion is not strength. It is vulnerability. The wise speak little, listen much, and reveal intentions only when action is unavoidable. Many are betrayed because they trusted words spoken in private more than realities shaped in public. Secrets are currency. Spend them carelessly and you enrich those who will one day spend them against you. There are those who are betrayed because they themselves are predictable. When your reactions are known, your values rigid, your mercy guaranteed, others plan accordingly. Predictability removes fear. A man who knows you will forgive feels free to offend. A man who knows you will hesitate feels free to advance. Uncertainty is a form of power. It forces caution. Betrayal often targets those whose responses are already calculated. Do not ignore the role of envy. Men compare themselves constantly. They measure favor, reward, and recognition. When they conclude that another is preferred unfairly, loyalty erodes. Even just leaders suffer betrayal if they fail to manage perception. Justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done. Favoritism, whether real or imagined,